Howdy folks, and welcome back to this next video. I just wanted to go over week one. I know it's easier sometimes when you can watch and listen to what's in store, and so this will be a little quickie, an overview of week one for unit 1 short story. In week 1 we have 4 discussions. I'm going to switch over to student view here. There we go. So week 1, we start week 1 off with the short story discussion on reasoning. We're looking at inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. So the question that is guiding this discussion is, how do we come to know truth? And so there are many kinds of reasoning that aren't included in this discussion, but the 2 that we're discussing are inductive and deductive. So this discussion is asking you to click on the links and watch videos on these types of reasoning, and then post something interesting to share on the discussion board. And be sure to, what got you thinking, what questions popped into your head, you can share kind of openly, and then make sure you respond to a classmate's post as well. So that's discussion 1. Discussion 2 is looking at elements of story. So storytelling is something that's kind of ingrained in us as human beings, and this is nothing new to us. You've been alive long enough to be able to have experienced it. And at the same time, we're very consciously and very meticulously looking at the story arc in a different way in this class, or maybe more in depth than we typically do. And so the story arc here is just the different flow. We often call it the beginning, the middle, and end. And what is inside the story? And that's what we're looking at. We're masters of story because we've lived it. We've told stories, we've listened to stories, we've watched movies, we've listened to songs and read poetry, and those are all different forms of storytelling. So that's what's up with this discussion. So you'll be reflecting on the introduction to the packet titled What Are Stories? And that includes our vocabulary and literary terms for this unit. So this is a really great discussion because it sets the foundation for us for how we're going to look at stories. And so you can highlight and underline and take note of the concepts there, and then hop on the discussion board to discuss it. The next discussion is looking specifically at, or sharing, your own story history. So what stories did you grow up with within your family? And maybe at school as well. What stories were told at the dinner table or during family occasions? Which ones kind of lasted the test of time? What are the reoccurring stories that come up? This could be family stories, it could be oral storytelling, or it could be books and stories that you've read or had read to you. It really just kind of depends on your own experience. We're just sharing a little bit. You're welcome to post a video or post a paragraph sharing your own story life. And then the last discussion for week 1, discussion number 4, is jumping into short stories. So looking at our first short story, there are 4 in this unit, and the first is The Story of an Hour by Kate Chopin, originally written and published in 1894, a very long time ago. It's interesting how we can read old literature and find it relatable today. It was originally posted in Vogue magazine, if you could believe that. And so I wanted to show you what the original looks like, because that is typically not what we see in Vogue magazine nowadays, right? There's other kinds of stories. So that's what's happening this week. This is week 1 in a nutshell. I hope it helps.